SyatiManager version 3 has now been released. Thank you to VTXG for that. I cannot believe this is real still. It is now a reality. It has been published to the SyatiManager GitHub. And today I'm going to showcase this new tool. I will show off its capabilities. I will show off how to use it in the first place so that we can both enjoy using this graphical user interface together. We're going to start off very basic. Just go onto the GitHub page. I'm going to link this in the description below as well. This is where version 2 of SyatiManager was also located. The URL has not been changed, but the contents very much have been. As you can see, there is now a SyatiManager logo with a little README here. Now, first things first, we obviously need to download SyatiManager first of all. And I know some of y'all go to code here and then download zip or something like that. Instead, what we want to pay attention to is this right side here, specifically right down here where it says releases. If we click on releases here, we can see every release that has ever been made. And there are two releases currently here. This one is version 3.0.0 and this one is the auto release. Now, in case you're confused about why there are two different releases, this one is basically the stable release. This is basically one that is manually built. If there is ever any change made to the repository, there will be an automatic build, also called auto, which will build all of this again. So if something is not working on that version, then consider maybe rolling back to the latest stable. Now, as you can see, we have 3 zips here and the source code. Do not choose the source code. We want the actual zips here that we have, which are the actual executables. And in this case, we want SyatiManager WinZip if you're on Windows. Now if we go into the downloads folder, we have our zip here, and I'm going to just extract it in a folder that I specifically made for this purpose already. SyatiManager, and now we have SyatiManager in here. And we can already now on Windows just double click this. And okay, I guess Windows Defender is not having it, but we click run anyway, and then there it is. That is SyatiManager version 3 being booted up right now. So as you can see, we have a console window here as well. This is basically just going to tell us what SyatiManager has been doing basically in the background. You can keep this up. It probably makes sense to understand what the program is currently doing. We have now come to this screen. This is the main screen. And one thing that is important about SyatiManager v3 is that it requires solutions to work. And if you haven't used solutions at any point and just basically use SyatiManager in the basic way, then no worries, you can just create a new one by going to File and clicking New Solution. You can also press Ctrl and N, and I'm going to call this My New Epic Solution. And as you can see, it uses a custom SYT file type. And as you can see in the console, it says here that it loaded the solution successfully, 0 modules, because it's a new one. If we want to install Syati modules now, we go on to Libraries and Module Library. And as you can see here, there is every single module listed that you could possibly want. And we can scroll through it. And then, for example, if we want to take a look at Troll Area, what it does, epic module by the way, you can see the documentation here that is presented. You can see who made it, and you can also see a category, which I think is a very cool feature. We're going to take a look at that in a second. You can download the module, you can click the link button, and this will open a browser window leading you to the source, and you can download the module here. So I guess we can just go ahead and do that. It does also require a few dependency modules, which is why it takes a little bit longer than usual. Now, let's say we wanted, for example, not just the troll area, but we also wanted something else. We can either take a look here through the categories. We can select a category like extension patch, and then we can see a bunch of patches here like Jumpstand Auto Neo, for example. It's a bit of a stretch to maybe call that a patch, but whatever. Patch is essentially like my Teresa Atomic patch on hard codes, amount of child boost. I mean, you saw that in the video. If you didn't watch it, then shame on you. You can basically select any kind of module here, like collectible. If you say, ooh, I want the blue star chips, then I download it, and that is that, basically. Or if you want to search for something specific, warp boxes, you can just go ahead and type that in, and obviously also just download it from here. If you've then decided on which modules you want, you can just close this, and every single module will just be listed here. You can then again take a look at the documentation here, and there are a few options for each module. So you can go here, you can update it. What else can we do? We can delete the module if we say troll area sucks. And we can take a look at the source if we just click here, in case we want to change something. And also what we have here is the toggle ignore feature, but for this I'm actually going to show off because I think it makes more sense. Edit ignored window. So if we go here, file edit ignored, you can see a list of modules here that are ignored, and we can enter basically any module that we don't want to have in here. Or we can simply just toggle ignore, for example, on troll area. Any module that is placed in here will be ignored, and if we build our custom code bin, which we're going to do in a second, these modules will not be built. And now, one thing that is important, if you close out of SyatiManager right now, it will not have updated the solution, so obviously we should save. I'm going to close out of SyatiManager, and now if I open back in, as you can see, it has no solution open, but now I can click open solution, and now we're back in business. Once you're ready to build, you need to make sure that stuff is configured properly for building. There's a modules path, there's an output path. Now, by default, it will simply be making a modules and output path in the same folder of the exe, but if I wanted to use different modules, like a different module path, I can just select anything else, and then I can also select which regions I would like to build. Let's say I only care about USA and PAL. I can take those, and then only those will be built. Now, uni build is a bit of a special topic. And then, once you have decided on everything, you can go to build and then build code. But one thing you need to do before that, you need to actually make sure that you have the dependencies, because SyatiManager itself doesn't have them installed by default. So in order to get them, we need to go to File, Settings, and as you can see in here, we need to set a Syati path and a Syati module build tool path. You're going to click here for the Syati path, and this just opens up in the SyatiManager folder. We're going to make a new folder called Syati. We're going to select this folder, and we're going to do the same thing for Syati module build tool. And now we have set both a Syati path and a Syati module build tool path. You can then just click update all, and that will get everything you need. If you don't already have a Syati setup or something like that, then I would definitely recommend you just do it this way. You can also tick a checkbox here to update Syati at startup, and there we go. You can see Syati was installed successfully, Code Warrior was installed successfully, Kamek, and now the only thing missing is Syati module build tool. But yeah, now that we have everything, we can build properly now. So we're going to build code, and so now we can take a look at our output path folder, and as you can see, it output a PAL bin and a USA bin. This is actually the file that contains the custom code, and we also have a map. This is also something that I would keep in your repository. The reason why it's important is that it documents where in memory every single function is. These map files are just for debugging purposes mainly, but I would definitely keep them in your mod. Now, if you've never used Syati before, then there's also a second step that you have to do. It's to build a loader. You only have to do this once, and this will be used in-game to actually load the custom code. If we now go to our output folder, you can see we have the bins, and we only really need the XML files. And if I open one up real quick, you can see right here, it basically is just a bunch of memory patches. If you want to use a Syati loader in your own mod, you can quickly just open up your own Revolution XML and then copy in all of this. So here, for example, I have an empty mod XML, And then for Syati to work, you need to paste in this first. This is going to be in the video description as well. And then you're going to go ahead and copy what SyatiManager output into here. And this is basically the custom loader patch. If you pasted both of those things in, you're good to go with your Revolution XML. And then what you need to do for the next step, you need to copy your bins. So in this case, I'm going to use PAL and USA. We're going to copy them into our mod. You create a new custom code folder, and then we enter and we paste. And now we have the bins for both USA and PAL, and then you will be able to load the bins that you built. And yeah, that's basically how Syati works. Now I'm going to show you a few extras that we now have in V3. First of all, we have the new preset library. These are presets for code that you can use for your own objects. Let's say you want to make a custom area. You can just click here on the download button. Then you can specify a few things, like for example, what the module should even be called in the first place. YouTube area, because I'm very clever, haha. Bavario, this is a funny YouTube area that shows the amount of subscribers on screen and begs you to subscribe. And then you click create. Oh yeah, you can already see in the module folder here, it added a new YouTube area. So we're going to close out of this, and now we can open File Explorer. Already has an include, a source, git folder info, module info, and now we can open up the CPP file, and as you can see here, it created my own custom area, and it just gave me the very basics that I need. And then to actually make it work, you actually have to turn it into something. For example, if we go to movement here, YouTube get subscribers. This is a totally real function and totally real namespace, by the way. I guess an S32 because you can have negative subscribers or something. OS panic because it's only so few subs, you know. And then we beg, please subscribe. This is so stupid. And now we can probably go ahead and compile this. And oh no, I guess YouTube isn't defined after all. YouTube is a mystery. But you get the point. So you can basically just go to the preset library, take anything you want, click the link as well if you want to get to the source of this. You can download them. And yeah, I think this is something very cool that we have here, but I'm not gonna need it, so I'm going to delete the YouTube area. Oh yeah, and one more cool thing that you can also do is actually, if you double click on Windows, you double click on SYT, it's obviously going to be confused and it's going to be like, what? You can actually configure SyatiManager to open this file. SyatiManager, we're going to choose the exe here, and it's going to open our solution, which I think is just really cool. Let me show you another one, for example. Here, a test SYT that I had. I don't even know if you can see this one. If I double click that, it opens my test SYT. And I think that's so cool. And I definitely encourage you to do that if you work with multiple solutions like myself. But yeah, that is the basics of SyatiManager. That will be it for the showcase today. I hope you enjoyed it. Having a GUI like this makes things much more usable, at least in my opinion. And there will be some cool new features coming for this as well that we have planned. So stay tuned. And yeah, thank you for watching.